Hi everybody, welcome to Omocha Reviews. Today we're going to give you a review of the Zoids HMM Blade Liger AB, released just this year, 2020 on February. This kit is a reissue of the earlier Blade Liger AB model kit known as the Blade Liger AB Bang. So here we're going to show you the box of the Blade Liger AB. So AB means attack booster, so as you can see the art style is a lot different here. You get this art style where the Death Stinger is firing a charged particle gun towards the Blade Liger. Yeah, there aren't many differences of this kit from the first one, but there are a few. And before we head into that, I want to show you guys first the close-up look on the quality of the plastic. So as you can see, there are a little bit of differences here. The claws, the fangs, and the blade are a shade of gold here, if you will, versus the standard yellow from before. So that's a big difference. The attack boosters are also color gray, particularly the lid of the attack boosters. And yeah, the blade's gold. Yeah, those are the big differences here for this reissue. Overall, it's a good quality kit in terms of plastic quality, so no worries about that. But there are some assembly issues about this kit, which I would like to discuss in depth in this video, so you guys would know what you would get before you buy this kit, especially since it comes at a hefty cost. So to start, very important to know that you won't get the figures of Van, Zeke, and Fiona here, the three main protagonists in Zoid's Chaotic Century. You'll just get a standard pilot there, which really is the main reason why this kit is a lot cheaper than the AB Bang kit, because you're really paying for the painted figures of Van, Fiona, and Zeke there in that kit. But yeah, if you really just want the Blade Liger, this is a good, cheaper alternative, this earlier release. The articulations and issues are still quite the same. We'll start with the articulation here for the whiskers, or I don't know if these are whiskers. They look like whiskers, and they're part of the shield. So they still move forward, but there is one issue here. As you can see, I just popped this off. This guy here, there's a plastic protruding there. Let me just bring this closer. So yeah, there's a bolt there that's actually torn off when I was assembling this, because that plastic was a little too brittle and it snapped off. Basically, that bolt goes through the cheek of the Liger there, but thankfully I didn't have to glue it because it's tight enough for it to fit even without the bolt being inserted. If you haven't had a Blade Liger HMM, so it's important to know that you can articulate the Zoid almost exactly how it acts in the anime. And what the Blade Liger's head is known for is it actually shows a shield. So you could bring up the mane like that to show that you can launch the shield. So besides that, these exhausts, if you will, on the shoulder of the limbs of the Blade Liger can also be articulated. You can open them up. So in the anime, the Blade Liger opened this up, I think, to emit some heat off, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you can do this for all four of the shoulders of the Blade Liger. Also, besides this, you could see here the claws here. The claws are actually very complicated for me. In my opinion, they're complicated to assemble. Each claw must be assembled, and I think each claw contains 3 parts. And the thing is, these parts are not... Oops. Okay, so the claws are not identical, so you really have to follow the instruction, because one part of the claw is different from another part of the claw. Now, as you could see, the Blade Liger snapped or was cut into half. This is another issue of mine about this kit. The lower body, as you could see, is not really secured because it's only being attached through that measly 2-bar plastic that inserts with the upper or the front body. I think this thing is really fragile. I think many Zoids fans or owners of this kit know, even the ones who own the Blade Liger AB Bang. Yeah, it's a very fragile kit, and I think you may need to glue it if you want to keep on displaying or playing with this thing. Now here I'm showing you the blades being deployed. So in the anime, the blades... Oh. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm struggling with the limb. The limbs can also easily come off from this Blade Liger. Let me just attach this. It's very, in my opinion, this kit is very complicated to assemble, and I think the conceptualization of it is quite I think it was overthought, you know what I mean? If you compare it to the Liger Zero, which was a later release, I think this kit was they tried to overthink this kit too much, and therefore it has a lot of issues that shows. So this this sort of a metal piece that I'm trying to attach there, that's another issue here. That's supposed to go down as if it's like a shaft that goes down along with the blade, but I wasn't able to assemble it properly, so it just pops off whenever I deploy the blades. So just like in the anime, this is how the Blade Liger looks like. For those who didn't watch the anime, the Blade Liger doesn't usually have the attack boosters. It was actually a very short-lived part of the series. It only used the attack boosters, I think twice, or for 2 episodes only. But yeah, it's still cool that Kotobukiya and Tomy gave us this kind of variant. Gives the Blade Liger additional weapons, and you know, it's a lot cooler in my opinion with the attack boosters on. It just makes the Liger very bulky. As you can see, it's hard to deploy the blades with the attack boosters on because it's connected to the blades. You could also pose it like this. So this is how the Blade Liger fires off long-ranged attacks towards its opponents. There are actually cannons attached to the blade. Now here's the attack booster. I think the attack booster is one of the best things about this kit. I really like how it's constructed. As you can see, the boosters can extend, and they really look like they're high-powered boosters that the Blade Liger used against the Geno Breaker in the anime. Very, very cool, and you get that gray accent. Also, you could extend these guys here as another gimmick here. I think these are cannons, so this pose right here with the boosters facing forward gives the Blade Liger a lot of firepower, because, you know, besides the guns attached to the blade, you also have these cannons here that can extend and fire also fire missiles as well. So yeah, I think the attack boosters really shows how much you could customize the Blade Liger in a way that it can be really ferocious. I think it's already frightening without it, but you know, this one really makes it very competitive against other variants, especially the likes of the Liger Zero Panzer, for example. Now, I'd just like to point out the tail here. The tail doesn't really articulate well besides moving sideways or in a circular way. I also don't like that the tail doesn't have a white touch. In the anime, or in the official design, the tail actually has a white stripe running across the fins there. They didn't give us that, so you have to paint that yourself. Okay, so next, I just want to show you this one right here. As you could see, there are no more attack boosters in this kit. So Tomy and Kotobukiya actually gives us the option to go with the classic Blade Liger here without the attack boosters. Really, really cool. This part right here, this singular part there, actually is the additional part that you get for you to attach the blades without needing to attach the attack boosters. So you have to assemble that separately. Also, I'd like to point out this one right here. You could also show off these boosters here. These are the real original boosters of the Blade Liger. So in the anime, this is what Van Flyheit usually uses most of the time to give it a speed boost, so you could articulate and extend it like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what you get for the Blade Liger. There are water slide decals that go with this, but I never really used them. Next, I'll show you a size comparison. This is the Liger Zero marking. As you can see, these two iconic Zoids are really identical in size. They are both Ligers. It's just that the Blade Liger is thicker than the Liger Zero, and that's because it has a lot more parts. As I said, it's a lot more complicated than the Liger Zero. Up next, I'm showing here the D Bison. So the D Bison from 1999. This is not a high-end master model. This is Tomi's motorized version of the D Bison. So you could see it's quite smaller compared to the HMMs. But no worries, if you want a big D Bison, we're gonna get one this year, and there's also the Thomas version as well. So do I recommend this? I would recommend it solely because it's the Blade Liger and it's a cheap variant of the other earlier Blade Liger releases. If you're a Zoids fan, a hardcore Zoids fan, the Blade Liger is essentially what Pikachu is to Pokemon. So you must get this if you don't have it yet. It's gonna take a toll on you in building it, lots of complicated parts. But you know, it's worth it in the end because it is the Blade Liger and it looks amazing. So thank you everyone. Stay tuned for more, like and subscribe.